All right, we're back working on the Corvette some more. I've always known that the T-tops didn't hold out water, and I just assumed it was always bad weather strip and I would get around to replacing it. Well, I was doing some autocross a couple weekends ago, and it was pouring rain the entire time. While they didn't leak horribly, I didn't get soaked. There was water coming in the car, so I decided to go ahead and replace the weather strip. So I ordered a kit from Zip Corvette. Comes with I actually ordered the whole body kit and all of the screws because I figured I'd have to replace some of the screws. So the kit's great. It says it's for, at least for the T-top part, 70 to 77E. This is a 76, so it should fit this car. But I started noticing some nuances and some stuff that's been done before. So the weather strip has been replaced on these before, and they're actually still pretty pliable. Not as pliable as brand new ones, but you know, it's been probably 20 years since it's been replaced. But I found some other things, and I'm going to bring you in here and show you what I found that they did, and what I noticed when I put it back on the car and it's not sealing. And then I also have a 70 T-top here. It's in really bad shape. Obviously needs replaced. But I'm going to show you the differences here. So first, I'm going to pull these inner trim panels, and then we will start showing you the differences. There's a screw, and this one might not come out, on each side. And then these just pop in. And I'm actually not going to put this back in on the car, because I already had the driver one out, because I can't fit in the car with a helmet with the interior piece in there. Okay. Now those are out. I'll bring you in closer. So first, what I noticed that didn't seem right is these pieces here. These are not factory weather strips. This is just like go to Lowe's, buy some weather strips, stuck these in there. So this car's obviously always had a problem with leaking. And I didn't put these on there. It was like that when I bought it, 20 years ago. So the weather strip looks the same, except for, and this just could be because it's an older set. This piece is a little bit different. It's got a chrome piece here, where this one doesn't. But what is different is pretty much the entire structure of this T-top. So this is off the 76, and you can see all there is a lip here, and then just the outer panel of the car. On this one, there is no lip here. There's an entire structure that's put in here, a whole nother fiberglass piece that's in here. Now, the brackets appear to be very, very similar. The pins, or whatever you want to call these. These are different. If you look at the pins in the front, this has a separate pin here from the latch. In the 76, it's one piece. So yeah, so you can see the difference in the structure there. But it looks like they take the same weather strip, and that's what they call for. But I will show you what I'm running into. I already replaced the weather strip on the driver's side and put it on the car, and it comes nowhere near to sealing out. Something's going on, even with the new weather strip. Look at all the light. There's just a gap there. The T-top doesn't actually sit down. It's harder to see in the back, but yeah, it doesn't even touch. Maybe it's an adjustment issue, so there's some shims here with this pin. I'll try taking those out and see if I can get it to sit down. The contour of it doesn't even fit. See if it looks like it sits down fine there, but and it doesn't line up with the roof. And look at the gap in the front. It's huge. But it's touching the very front. We'll see. So I'm mainly making this video because I watched as many videos as I could about doing the T-tops on a C3 Corvette. And I saw the 70 style, and then I believe it's 78. It goes to a different style where there's only one latch and then a pin that comes out the back. And that style, and then the glass T-tops. But none of the videos had this style where it's just this lip. So I thought I'd show you the differences and then show you the problems I'm coming up with. And maybe somebody knows why. Maybe this is not a factory piece or something. I don't know. I don't know why it would be any different, but so we'll go ahead and work on replacing the weather strip on this one. First, there's 4 screws here. Like I said, these have been replaced before, so I don't know. And it also looks like the nuts that these screw into, on the other one at least a couple of them had been replaced, or they had to cut the screws out or something. So I'm pretty lucky here that the hardware is all coming out really easily. Of course, I say that. There we go. All right, so I don't know if that's supposed to be glued down. The chrome piece underneath it's really clean, so I'm assuming not. So I didn't glue it down on the other one. And then we will put some of the weather strip glue along as we go. But you can see these plastic pieces here. They just pop out. They're like the little Christmas trees. So we just go along and if they break off, it's no big deal. The weather strip comes with them. Or this, like that one's not going to pull out. And that's fine too. Although I'll show you later, I need to be kind of gentle with this weather strip because I need to reuse it for sure. I forgot to mention at the beginning, you need to put something soft down so you're not scratching the top. And if you're getting ready to paint a car, you're probably going to want to do this anyway. And then next I'll show you, I actually went ahead and removed this piece and resealed along the edge of this and this little splice here, I think they call it, the splice. But I did not remove this front. This front piece is crimped on, the little piece of rubber on it seems okay. So we're going to leave it alone. But next, I'm going to go through and take out any of the plastic clips that I didn't get out or that pulled out of the rubber and get those out of the way. And then we're just going to go through and I'm going to clean off all the old glue and wipe it down with acetone to get it clean. Next piece I'm going to take apart, I'm going to pull this chrome trim off, and I want to make sure it's sealed well underneath here. Plus this is raised back here for some reason, and that screw's not seated like it's supposed to. So let's take out these 4 screws, which I can see damage here where it looks like they, when they previously did it, those bolts and nuts must have been seized up. You can see where they've had to grind out the old screws. Another indicator that's been replaced before. I don't know what the deal with that screw is. The other one was completely missing. And this one is not correct. Disc is stripped out. It's coming out a little at a time now. All right, scrap bin for you. Okay, so first piece to come off is this little splice, I think they call it. You can see it's been sealed in there, which is good. All right, we'll clean that up. And then this piece should do the same. We should be able to just pry it up slowly, so we don't bend it. It's got the same kind of sealant underneath it. All right, so see that comes off. In here, these are captive nuts. That's what you screw the weather strip down to, and they're a little rusty, but they all move still. So now we just got to clean up all of this old strip caulk and off of here, and then we're just going to replace that with new. It looks here like this does not have the correct screw in it. Somebody has replaced that screw with one. That's why it was popped up. And in fact, it's the only screw in there. It's missing the other one. This is, they put a regular button head screw in there, and it's supposed to be a one with the countersink. So I'm going to have to cut down a screw or find a screw to fit those, because those are not just regular screws. The threads are into the fiberglass, and I don't think they're regular threads. And this has to go back on before you can put this back on. So for now, let's work on getting all of these cleaned up so that we can get ready to go back together. All right, now we got it cleaned up. Now we're going to start going back together. Lucky me, I had the correct screws, or at least they appear to be pretty close to correct. That one might not be long enough. I'll go search for another one of these. But for the top one, the only one that was in there, but it was wrong, a 10/24 stainless screw. So I didn't have to go try to find any or cut one. It's the right length and everything. So let me go see if I can find a little bit smaller one of these. If not, for now, I can add that later. But that screw has to go in before you put this back on. So we had to do that first. All right, so to seal this back in, what we're going to do is we're going to put a string of 3M strip caulk. Same stuff that we used when we put the tops of the windshield and the T-top back together. Very sticky stuff, but a little bit of pain to clean up. But I've seen other people using weather strip glue to do this, and that worries me a little bit. Like, because are you ever going to be able to get this back apart again? If you ever want to paint the car, it's a good idea to remove these and this front piece here, because they wrap over the top, and you can tell the top of this car has been repainted, and you can see exactly where they painted right up to the edge of the trim. They didn't take it off, and it looks like crap. I got this 3M strip caulk at Napa, if I remember right. It actually wasn't that hard to find. They had it in stock. I'm going to run it around the corner there. I believe the heater box, when I rebuilt it, uses some of this also. There's a dip here, and I know on the other one I threw a little bit extra in here. I don't think I needed to, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then let's see. Okay, that's all we need for there. I'll make sure we're all lined up good. And this did need to be replaced. There was dirt here instead of the strip caulk, and it was very full down in this groove here, which is telling me that it was probably leaking a little bit, or it was close to it if it wasn't. All right, so slide that over the edge, line up your screw holes, and then you kind of squeeze it into place. All right, start putting the screws back in. This needs to be pushed in a little bit more still. We can get the screw started though. These screws are not part of the kit, come from Corvette. It is just the weather strip screws. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, the next piece is the splice, and it fits over, it kind of clips into the top and folds over and fits right in on that seam. Now this one has the same problem the other one did. That screw was in there. You could tell they tried doing that on the other one also, but it wasn't in there correctly, and it wasn't in all the way. So what I did on the other one, here we go, is I drilled a hole and I put a pop rivet in there to hold it in place. So, okay, so that goes like that. I need to add a little bit of strip caulk in here first though. I'm just gonna drill it in place, Hold it where I want it. All right, I figured out what was going on with the weather strip. So even though this is a 76 Corvette, the design of this T-top takes a 77 late and later weather strip. So I did some research and looked at videos and looked at the design. If your T-top has this ridge here, which is just a ridge that sticks up and not a full flat like I showed you with the others, it's going to take the later. What I didn't understand was that this still has the dual latches and uses the later weather strip. So there must have been some transition years before it went to a single latch with a pin that uses that same weather strip. So a few differences. This is the up to 76, I think it's 70 through 77 early. The window channel is just weather strip. There's nothing in it. There's no metal. There's only a piece of metal in this corner to help this curve. Then one for the later, for 77 and later, there is a metal bar inside here, which makes this inflex. It does not flex. So when you put this in place, it bolts down nicely, and you can slide it back and forth and adjust it to match the window channel. Something else I noticed, because I already did the driver's side, was that this weather strip installs way nicer and only required glue in one location, and that was right here in this corner. You can see this one actually has a corner piece that sinks down into that section there. This one did not. It was just flat. So, and that's part of the design. That's why this didn't fit this T-top correctly. So that's the differences. And I put the other one on the car, and there's no light that shines through. So I think I finally figured out what it is, and it's a 76, and it takes a 77 and later weather strip for the T-tops. Hopefully the doors and everything else fit fine, because I did buy the whole kit, but I haven't gotten to those yet. So, but I'll show you real quick. We'll install this, and you actually have to stretch it into place a little bit more than the old one. So we'll do that real quick and get that done. So I start by putting the screws in. Now with the metal bar in here, it's a little bit harder to line them up because it doesn't flex like the other one did. So I just get the screw started just enough, and then I'll look down through the top and get it lined up with where because that nut floats back and forth. Just a few threads started. And now you can see that slides back and forth real nice and side to side. So once I put it on the car and put the window up, I can adjust it to match where the window is. So I left those loose. Like I said, I'm going to tighten them down just a tiny bit so that they don't fall out. And I'm going to leave them like that until I get them on the car and get it adjusted. I know. Like I said, the only place I had to use glue was in this corner because you have to stretch this one out a little bit to hit that hole, and you see it pulls up. So what I do is I'll put the glue in there, and then I have to hold it down for a little while until this glue dries up really fast. So the other problem with that is you have to get it in place really quick. And this is the GM Black Super Weather Strip Adhesive. And you don't have to put it on and let it tack up separately like some of the other weather strip adhesives. Go ahead and put that in the hole. Push that through, and then I'm just going to hold that. You could clamp it in place if you didn't want to hold it, but it does dry pretty quick. Just a couple of minutes. And then you just work your way around. Okay, that's mostly tacked in place. I'll keep checking it as I go around. Like I said, we just work around. All the holes lined up good on the other one. As we start getting towards that last corner, it gets a little bit tight. So I'll work my way down. These last few I found, because I ended up knocking them out of the other one, you have to pull the whole corner back and set it in place. I'll knock that one out too. All right. And here you can't really, you probably can't tell, but this stands up much taller than it did on the old one, and that's where the problem was, is it wasn't tall enough to touch the trim on the top of the car. All right. So now I'm going to go, because this corner is going to want to pull up a little bit and I don't want to clamp it, I can just put it on the car and it'll hold it in place. So then I'm going to go install it in the car. We're going to call this done. All right, well, hopefully that helps out somebody in the same situation. If you have a 76, 77 Corvette, hopefully you can, you can see the differences from what I showed earlier in the video and select the right weather strip for your car.